Yesterday, while enjoying the tunde kebab in the outlet in Z Square, Kanpur, we among the friends, we suddenly started talking. If I had my life to live over again, what, uh, how we would like to live. So I share my views with you, my friends, today. If I had my life to live over again, of course, I agree. You can't unfry an egg, but of course, certainly there is no law about it. If I had to live my life over again, my friend, I will try to live more. I will definitely try to live and make more mistakes. I would relax more. I would be simply lazing around. I would be suffer. I think I'd be more safer than I had been ever. I would be more sillier even than I think ever have been. I know of very few things, my friend, that I would take seriously. I would be less hygiene. Too much of hygiene we have been following. I think excessive. I would go to more places I have visited, though I have visited almost every district in India, but I think I'm not so uh, good traveler. I'm still less traveled. I would climb more mountains, surely. I have lived in mountains and enjoyed them. It's a pleasure climbing in a mountain and going into the peak. I would certainly, my friend, swim more rivers, not in swimming pools, open rivers. I would certainly eat more ice cream because of my medical problem. I've been avoiding cold things, but I miss ice cream, and of course, eat less bran. I would have actually I would have more actual troubles and fewer imaginary troubles, my friend. Most of my fears and troubles were, I think, 80% were simply imaginary. You see, I have been one of those fellows, being a soldier, lived a very regimented life, very disciplined life. I lived very prudently and sincerely, hour by hour, day after day. Oh God. If I have had my moments now, but if I had to do so it over again, I would have more of them, a lot more. It may be too late to unteach an old dog the old tricks, but perhaps a word of forewarning from the unwise, maybe of being after maybe a benefit to a coming generation. It may help them to fall into some of the pitfalls I have avoided, my friend. If I had my today's world of specialization, we naturally have a super abundance of individuals who cry at us to be serious about their individual speciality. I remember a Joe, a great mathematician, a great physician, and a great musician. They are traveling in a boat to cross over the river. The boatman and the mathematician asked the boatman, "Oh, listen, you man, do you know mathematics?" He said, "No, sir." He said, "Then, friend, you have wasted half your life." The physician spoke to the boatman. He says, "Listen, do you know anything about medicine?" He said, "No, sir." He said, "Oh, then, young man, you have wasted half of your life." A musician was how he could have left behind. He was very too proud of his specialty. Then he asked the same question and he gets the same reply. Then he also confirms the view of the mathematician and physician that, dear friend, you have wasted half your life. By the time they're in the middle of the river, and suddenly there was a storm. The whirlwind. The boatman asked these three specialists, "Listen, all three of you, do you know swimming?" None of Have you learned swimming? None of them said. All of them said no. He said, "My friends, now you're going to waste all your life." So I would pay less attention to these specialization and specialized people crying at me. They will tell me that I would have learned more history. I would have learned more maths. Otherwise, I will be disgraced and flunked and failed. After a dozen or so of these protagonists, my friend, have worked out on a young mind, they are they are apt to leave in the hard knots for the life. I would seek more teachers who inspire relaxation, my friend, and fun. I had a few of them, fortunately, and I figure it was they who kept me from going entirely to the dogs. From them, I learned how to gather what few scraggy daisies I have gathered along the my life's pathway. My friend, if I had my life to live over again, I would start barefoot a little earlier in the spring and stay, uh, and that way a little later in the fall. I'd play more outdoor games. I would shoot more paper pads as my paper pad at my teachers, at my friends. I'll be more naughtier. I love dogs. I would keep more dogs, have more animals around me. I would keep late hours. I sleep by 10. I would have more sweethearts, my friends. I would have greater number of girlfriends. I would wish more. I would go to more circuses and see the magic of the performers. I would go to more dances, see people's flexibility and dancing with music and giving pleasure to audiences. I would ride on a more merry-go-rounds. Pleasure. I would be carefree as long as I could, or at least until I got some care instead of having my cares in advance. My friend, more errors are made solemnly that in fun. The rubs of family life come in moments of intense seriousness rather than in moments of light-heartedness. If nations to magnify my point, declare international carnivals instead of international wars, how much better uh, the world would be to live. My friends, the characteristics of the uh, great saint is the power of levity. Angels can fly because they can take themselves lightly. One settles down into a sort of selfish seriousness, but one has to rise to a gay self forgetfulness. A man falls into a brown study. He reaches up to a blue sky. Sky is the limit. In a world in which practically everything else seems to be uh, consecrated to the gravity of the situation, I would rise to glorify the levity of the situation. For I agree that the Katie is wiser than wisdom, my friends. I feel it very intensely. I doubt, however, that I will do much more damage with my creed and such notion. My friend, if I have to live over again, I will do everything what I want to do or I miss doing and make the most of my life. I have wasted far too many moments in situations, opportunities, thinking, what will people say, and taking myself, taking a backstep. Live your life, my friend. Stop thinking, accept every moment, so that you don't regret like me and have to talk like this if I had to live my life over again. Thank you very much.